A knock at my door. At 3 a.m. Nobody knew I was here at my old house. I'd been staying here for the past week, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. The house was supposed to be empty, abandoned, but someone was knocking. "I know you're in there," he said softly. "We need to talk." I walked to the door. Through the peephole, I saw a man I didn't recognize. He was tall with dark hair and kind eyes. He wasn't wearing fancy clothes, just simple jeans and a white shirt. But something about him made me feel safe. I should have been scared. I should have called security. But instead I found myself opening the door. The man stepped inside without waiting for an invitation. And I let him. Why did I let him? "You're lost," he said, looking directly into my eyes. "You've been trying to be everything to everyone, and now you're nothing to yourself." How did he know? How could a stranger see what I'd been hiding from everyone, including myself? "I don't know what you're talking about," I lied, but my voice cracked. He smiled, and it was the warmest smile I'd ever seen. "Yes, you do. You've been changing yourself so much to please others that you've forgotten who you really are. And now you're terrified because when you look in the mirror, you see a stranger." I felt tears forming in my eyes. This man had just put into words what I'd been feeling for months, but couldn't explain. How was that possible? "Who are you?" I whispered. "Someone who knows what it's like to be misunderstood. Someone who knows what it's like to have people try to change you, to make you fit their idea of who you should be." He paused. "My name is Jesus." I should have laughed. I should have thought he was crazy, but looking into his eyes, I knew he was telling the truth. "Jesus," I repeated, my voice barely audible. "Like Jesus, Jesus." I sat across from him, my mind racing. This was impossible, but somehow it felt more real than anything I'd experienced in years. "What decision?" He nodded, sitting down at my kitchen table like we were old friends. "I know it's hard to believe, but I had to come. You're about to make a decision that will change everything, and I needed to warn you. Tomorrow you're going to get a call. Someone important is going to offer you something you think you want, but if you take it, you'll lose the last piece of yourself that's still real." My heart started pounding. How could he know about tomorrow? I didn't even know what was happening tomorrow. "I don't understand. You've been changing yourself for so long. You think that's just what successful people do. You think adaptation is strength, but you're not adapting anymore. You're disappearing. What happened when you were different?" He reached across the table and touched my hand. His skin was warm and I felt a strange peace wash over me. "Tell me about the last time you felt like yourself." I closed my eyes trying to remember. I don't know. Maybe when I was a kid before I learned that being different was wrong. The memories came flooding back. Kids at school laughing at my ideas. Teachers telling me to be more realistic. Adults constantly telling me to fit in, to be normal, to stop standing out so much. People didn't like it. They said I was weird, that I asked too many questions, that I should just be like everyone else. "So, you started changing." Little by little, I learned to read the room, to say what people wanted to hear. I thought I was getting smarter, learning how to navigate the world. I opened my eyes and looked at him, but I was actually losing myself, wasn't I? The truth hit me like a physical blow. I don't even know what I actually think about things anymore. When someone asks my opinion, I automatically think about what they want to hear first. "And how does that feel?" He nodded. "You became so good at becoming what others wanted that you forgot what you wanted. You became so skilled at avoiding rejection that you rejected yourself." Jesus was quiet for a moment. "Do you remember why you started changing yourself in the first place? To be accepted, to be liked, to avoid being hurt." Exhausting. Like I'm carrying around 100 different versions of myself and I never know which one to be. I put my head in my hands. I'm so tired of pretending because you can't be truly known when you're not being truly yourself. And did it work? I thought about it honestly. No, I have millions of people who follow me online, but I feel completely alone. I have colleagues who respect me, but I don't think any of them actually know me. I have fans who love me, but they love a version of me that doesn't really exist. But if I myself, people might not like me. They might reject me, criticize me, leave me. Some will, he said gently, but the ones who stay will be loving the real you. Isn't that better than having thousands of people love a fake version of you? I knew he was right, but the fear was overwhelming. What if the real me isn't good enough? You were created exactly as you were meant to be. The real you, the one you've been hiding, is not a mistake. You don't need to change who you are to be worthy of love. But I've been this way for so long, I don't even know how to be authentic anymore. It's like a muscle that's been unused. It will feel weak at first, but it will grow stronger with practice. I looked at him, this man who claimed to be Jesus, sitting in my kitchen at 3 a.m., telling me things I desperately needed to hear. Why are you here? Why do you care? My blood ran cold. What do you mean? Because I've watched you disappear piece by piece, and it breaks my heart. You were meant to shine, but you've been dimming yourself to make others comfortable. And tomorrow, you're going to be given a chance to disappear completely. He stood up, pacing to the window, the kind that seems like a dream come true, but is actually a nightmare. The kind that promises you everything, but costs you your soul. The phone call, the offer. It will seem like everything you've ever wanted, but accepting it will require you to become someone you're not permanently this time. And once you cross that line, there's no going back. What kind of offer? I don't understand, I said, following him to the window. If you know what's going to happen, why won't you just tell me? You'll know when it happens. The question is, will you have the courage to say no? I felt panic rising in my chest. Tell me what it is I need to know. What if I make the wrong choice? Jesus turned to face me, and I saw something in his eyes that made my stomach drop. Sadness. Deep, profound sadness. Because you have to choose. I can warn you, I can guide you, but I can't make the choice for you. Then you'll spend the rest of your life becoming someone you're not, until one day you wake up and realize you've completely lost yourself, and by then it might be too late to find your way back. I slumped against the wall. This is too much. I can't handle this. You're stronger than you think, but you've been weakening yourself by constantly changing who you are. Every time you deny your true self, you lose a little bit of your power. I just wanted to be successful. I wanted people to like me, and look where that's gotten you. You're successful by the world's standards, but you're dying inside. You have people's approval, but you've lost your own. He walked back to the table and sat down. Let me tell you something. I faced the same choice you're facing. You did. People wanted me to be different. They wanted me to be the kind of leader they expected, to say the things they wanted to hear, to fit into their boxes. The pressure was enormous. What did you do? I chose to be myself, even when it cost me everything, even when people turned against me, even when I was alone, even when it led to my death. I sat back down across from him. It's scary though. Being yourself means you might be rejected. That's not exactly encouraging. He smiled, but I came back and I changed the world by being authentically myself, not by becoming what others wanted me to be. How do I know if I'm being authentic or just being stubborn? Yes, it does, but here's what I've learned. Rejection is not the worst thing that can happen to you. Losing yourself is good question. When you're being authentic, you feel alive even if you're scared. When you're being stubborn, you feel defensive and closed off. Authenticity comes from love for yourself and others. Stubborn comes from fear and pride. I think I've been both. I thought about the past few years, all the times I'd changed my mind or my approach because someone criticized me. I'd been so focused on avoiding criticism that I stopped having my own opinions. Most people are. The key is learning to tell the difference. Criticism is just information. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not, but it should never determine who you are. But what if people are right? What if I really am flawed? Everyone is flawed. That's what makes us human. But your flaws are yours and they're part of who you are. When you try to hide them or change them to please others, you're not becoming better. You're becoming fake. So, I should just accept my flaws and never try to improve. I thought about this. How do I know which is which? There's a difference between improving yourself and changing yourself. Improvement comes from within, from a desire to grow and become better. Change comes from outside pressure to become someone else. I've been exhausted for years because you've been fighting yourself instead of fighting for yourself. When you're improving yourself, you feel energized and hopeful. When you're changing yourself to please others, you feel exhausted and empty. What do you mean? You've been at war with who you are, trying to defeat your authentic self and replace it with who you think others want. But you should be fighting for your right to be yourself, defending your authentic self against those who want to change you. The phone rang. We both looked at it, then at each other. It's 3:30 a.m. I said. Who calls at 3:30 a.m? Someone who knows you're awake, Jesus said quietly. Someone who's been watching you, waiting for the right moment. Should I answer it? It's your choice. But remember, this is the beginning of what I came to warn you about. My hand trembled as I reached for the phone. The caller ID showed a number I didn't recognize, but somehow I knew this call would change everything. Hello, I answered. What kind of opportunity? I asked, looking at Jesus, who was watching me intently. Arnold, This is Marcus Chen. I apologize for calling so late, but I have an opportunity that can't wait until morning. I'd heard of Marcus Chen. He was one of the most powerful people in the world, the kind of person who could make or break careers with a single phone call. But I'd never met him, never had any reason to expect a call from him. The kind that will make you the most influential person on the planet. But we need to discuss it in person. Can you meet me in 1 hour at 4:30 a.m? Time is of the essence. There are others who want this opportunity, but I'm offering it to you first. 1 hour. I'll send you the address. That's it, isn't it? I whispered. That's the call you were warning me about. The line went dead. I stared at the phone, then at Jesus. He nodded. Are you going to meet him? I don't know. Part of me is curious. What if it really is an amazing opportunity? And what if it's the thing that finally destroys who you are? I had 1 hour to decide. 1 hour to choose between potential success and authentic self-preservation. 1 hour to make the most important decision of my life. But I don't even know what he wants to offer me. Jesus watched me calmly. What if you do go and lose something even more incredible? Yourself. I paced around my kitchen, the phone still in my hand. What if I don't go? What if I miss out on something incredible? Yes, you do. In your heart, you know exactly what kind of offer this is. You know what you've been secretly hoping for. What you've been working toward by changing yourself all these years. He was right. I did know this was the call I'd been unconsciously preparing for my entire adult life. The call that would validate all the compromises I'd made, all the pieces of myself I'd sacrificed. He's going to offer me a position of incredible power and influence, I said slowly. Something that will make me one of the most important people in the world. Everything I am. He'll want me to become his version of the perfect leader, his puppet. And 6 months ago, you would have said yes immediately. And what will it cost you? 6 months ago, I wouldn't have even seen it as losing myself. I would have seen it as winning. It's not just about power, though, it's about impact. What if I could actually help people? What if I could make the world better? Jesus stood up and walked to me. But now you know better. Now you can see the cage before you step into it. You can't make the world better by becoming fake. You can only make it better by being real. But real me might not be good enough to help on that scale. Says who? The same people who convinced you to change yourself in the first place. I stopped pacing. He was right again. Every doubt I had about my authentic self came from other people's opinions, not from any real evidence. Then you'll live an authentic life instead of a powerful one. Which one do you think will make you happier? I'm scared, I admitted. What if I turn down this opportunity and nothing else like it ever comes along? Because you've been living someone else's life. I thought about the past few years, all the success, all the recognition, all the power I'd accumulated, and how empty it had all felt. I haven't been happy in years, but at least it was a successful someone else's life. I keep thinking about what my life would be like if I just kept being myself. I said, what if I'm not successful? What if I fail? Success without authenticity is just sophisticated misery. The text message came through with the address. It was at a private club downtown, the kind of place where the world's most powerful people made deals that shaped history. Part of me was excited, part of me was terrified. You're already failing. You're failing at being yourself. Enough for what? For whom? But what if the real me isn't enough? For making a difference. For being important. I think I need to be what people want me to be to get the chance to be important. You think you need to be fake to be important because you've been giving it away piece by piece every time you changed yourself to please someone else. Jesus shook his head. That's the lie that's been destroying you. You think you need to earn the right to be yourself, but you already have that right. You were born with it. It doesn't feel like it. I sat down heavily. I don't know how to be myself anymore. It's been so long. What would the first step be? It's like learning to walk again after being in a wheelchair. It feels impossible until you take the first step, deciding not to take this meeting. But what if? Stop. Listen to yourself. You're already making excuses, already finding reasons to compromise. This is how it starts. This is how you lose yourself, one small compromise at a time. Maybe I would be stupid to walk away. I looked at my phone. 20 minutes until I had to leave if I was going to make the meeting. What if I go just to hear what he has to say? I don't have to accept anything. You know that's not how these things work. Once you're in that room, the pressure will be enormous. He'll make it seem like this is your only chance, like you'd be stupid to walk away. Or maybe you'd be smart to recognize a trap when you see one. I stood up, walking to the window. The city was quiet, most people asleep. But somewhere out there, Marcus Chen was waiting for me with an offer that would change everything. What if I regret this for the rest of my life? What if you don't regret it, but you spend the rest of your life wondering who you might have been if you'd had the courage to be yourself? That's not fair. You're making it sound like there's only one right choice. There isn't, but there's only one choice that leads to you being yourself. I turned back to him. What would you do? I'd remember that I'm not here to please everyone. I'm here to be who I was created to be, even if it means giving up incredible opportunities. Especially then, the biggest opportunities often come with the biggest costs. 15 minutes. I had 15 minutes to decide. 15 minutes to choose between the person I'd been becoming and the person I was meant to be. I need to tell you something, I said. Something I've never told anyone. What? Jesus leaned forward. There's something I need to tell you. Something I should have said that first night. I'm tired of being successful. I'm tired of being important. I'm tired of being everything to everyone. I felt tears coming. I just want to be me again. Jesus smiled. Then you know what you have to do. The words hit me like a physical force. I'd been shrinking myself my whole life. Stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You don't need to change who you are to be accepted. You were never meant to disappear. Start coming back to who you really are. What? You are being afraid. There's a difference between being considerate and erasing yourself. I thought I was being considerate. Making yourself smaller so others wouldn't feel threatened. Dimming your light so others wouldn't feel overshadowed. Hiding your thoughts so others wouldn't feel challenged. But what if who I really am makes people uncomfortable? Then they'll learn to be more comfortable with authenticity. Or they'll move on, and you'll make room for people who appreciate the real you. It's taken me months to even begin understanding this, and it will take you years to fully live it. But every day you choose authenticity over approval. You become more yourself. What does that feel like? I stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the city lights. I can feel it happening. I can feel myself coming back. I never want to leave again. That's exactly what it is. You're coming home to yourself, like waking up after a long sleep. Like remembering a song I used to love but had forgotten. Like coming home. You won't. Not completely. You might visit fake places from time to time, but you'll always know the way back because now you know the difference. Once you've tasted authenticity, you can't pretend that fake tastes as good. How can you be sure?